Right there. To solve word problems, I have given you the steps you need to follow. Now, the weird thing about word problems is the easiest word problems to start with are questions like this very first one. All of you learned some fancy way to solve that I had never heard of. About 3 years ago, some kids in grade 9 said, oh, this is what I do to solve that. And it was some weird, like, that multiplying by 3 thing with their fingers. It was some trick their teachers taught them to solve random number questions. Then I gave them the exact same question, but instead of saying random numbers, I put something in there like tickets to a movie. Not 2 numbers. And no kid could solve it. Then I gave them the exact same question with random numbers, and every kid could solve it. So, was it useful to learn that trick? No, because as soon as I changed the words, they couldn't do it. Is it useful to learn how to do something? Yes, of course it is. Here is how to do it. Step 1. Identify what you are looking for. Read the first question. What do I seek? 2 numbers. Do I know either of those numbers? No, I do not. I know neither of those numbers. So the next thing I say here, and I stole this out of an old textbook. Number 1, Suhani. That's the first one. That's what we're starting with. No problem. I stole this blue sentence. I stole this whole box from an old textbook. You know it's old because it does that elementary school thing where it says, write let statements to identify your variables accordingly. When I was in grade 8, 9, and 10, my teacher wouldn't have even marked this if I didn't write, let x equal the first unknown, don't write this down, unknown number. If I didn't write that out, my teacher wouldn't have even marked my work. This is the 21st century. I do not care how well you write sentences. I care about concepts. This, in math, means this. Number 1 equals x. Done. Right? Number 1, which I don't know, I've given it an x value. Could I have chosen A, P, T, lightning bolt, peace sign, dollar sign, blank? I couldn't have written a box there? Yeah. Okay. So you are all aware that the only thing I can't write there right now is some number. Right? Okay. The other thing I sought was the second number. Can I make this x? No, because x is the first number. So this must be a different number. Now, have I achieved the first thing? Yes. The second thing I have to do is I need to write 2 equations. What if I had a third number? Would I need 2 equations? No, I would need 3. What if I had 6 numbers? Then I would need 6. Everybody with me? All right. So I will write my 2 equations. Often, and this is a hint, every sentence produces an equation. Is that a sentence? Is that a sentence? Excellent. What math are those words speaking of? Addition. The sum of 2 numbers is 176. Well, that must mean x plus y equals 176. Is that a second sentence? Yes. What math is it speaking of? Subtraction. X minus y must equal 48. Agreed? Is that a system? Damn right it is. Do we know how to solve it? Damn right we do. I've given you 3 methods. What's the method that we're not going to use? Because we is smart. We're not going to use graphing. Because not that it's wrong, it's just the... Oh, I thought you said wrong. It's just the most inferior. Let us solve this system. What method is it set up for right now? Elimination through addition. Why? Because we have 1 and 1 with the y's. If I add them, what is x plus x? 2x. What is going to happen to the y's? They are eliminated. 176 plus 48 is? 224. Right! 224. Then what? Divide by 2. What does x equal? 112. Once I know what x equals, I come back up to which of these? Whichever one you want. Should I put it here? Of course not. Even though it's right, it will not tell me what y is. So I can't put it anywhere I see an x, which is what I usually say. I have to put it somewhere where there's a y, because I am still seeking the y. So I could have written 112 plus y equals 176. Or, and I'm going to use a different shade of green because I'm still doing this, 112 minus y equals 48. And then I solve that. And either way I solve it, I'm going to use a third shade of green, y equals 64. And we are done. Now, yes, Preston. Okay, then. This method will solve every single system question as long as there are 2 variables. All that changes is the words. But in every systems question that you will do in grade 10, there are how many unknowns? 2. So you need how many variables? 2. And you need how many equations? 2. Other than that, everything else is window dressing that is just there to scare you. Need we be scared? No, because every question is 2 random numbers that do some math together. Right? What are my 2 unknowns in number 2? A chocolate bar? Oh, I just made a new letter. A b-b-b.
I always do that.
Chocolate bar. And what's the other unknown? A pop. Let's assign some variables. What variable would be good for chocolate bar? C? Sure. What variable would be good for pop? P. Sure. What do I know? Is that a sentence? So what does that tell me? 4 C's, 3P, 530. What does that sentence tell me? 2C plus P equals 220. Is that a system? Is it ready to go? Not quite. I must do some algebra. I could multiply one of them to eliminate. That requires me to do algebra. Or I could move this C right over here and get P equals 2.20 minus 2C. And I could do substitution. Who makes that decision? You do. I have just done an elimination one, so this time, just for fun, I am going to do substitution. So, I take 4C plus 3, not P, because P is 2.20 minus 2C equals 530. Decimals scare me, but they shouldn't. 4C plus 660 minus 6C equals 530. Negative 2C equals negative 130. C equals 0.65. which shows you how old these questions are because a chocolate bar has not been 65 cents for quite some time. 0.65. Once you know 0.65 is C, if you've done substitution, chances are you've got something like that right ready to go. P equals 220 minus 130, because 2 times 65 cents is $1.30, is 90 cents. Now, if you show me that, you will get full credit. I know a great many of you have been through elementary school and middle school where the teacher would have said, a word problem requires a full sentence answer. Yeah. I do not care. That is the dumbest thing in the world to take marks away from you in a math class after you have done math. But that is not up to me to change. That is up to them to change. I want you to know how to do math. I'll let your English teacher teach you how to write full sentences. Number 3. Oh goodness, I am going to a tennis club. Oh goodness, that tennis club has 2 unknown charges. Those charges are numbers. Oh no, it's 2 unknown numbers. I don't know how to do this when it's real life things like money, except you do, because money is just numbers. What are the 2 things that are unknown? I do not know the startup fee. What is the other thing that is unknown? The month fee. What letters should I give them? W and B. Sure. Why not? Because it doesn't matter. So you make it whatever you want, Suhani. You can make it lightning bolt and peace sign. You go, girl. After 1 month, Jen has paid $260. How many startup fees has she paid after 1 month? 1. 1 W. How many monthly fees has she paid after 1 month? 1. And that equals 260. After 6 months, how many startup fees has she paid? 1, because it's a startup fee. How many monthly fees? 6 B's. And that equals 435. What am I automatically set up for? Elimination. By adding or by subtracting? Subtracting. Minus. W minus W is what? 0. 1B minus 6 B's is how many B's? Negative 5. I'm covered in B's. 2. My tie is covered in poo, which would make me covered in flies, not bees. My tie is covered in poo. Flies land on feces. Poo is another word for feces. So the flies would land all over my tie because it is covered in poo or feces. But that's not really the joke, because I said there are 5 B's and I was covered in bees. 260 minus 435 is what? Negative 175, which means B equals 35. So my monthly fee is 35. What is my startup fee? W plus 35 equals 260. W equals 225. Now, if you have written start fee equals W, and you've written W equals 225, do I need a sentence that says the startup fee is 225? Of course not. Because you have told me startup fee is W, and you have told me W is 225, and I am smart enough to know that W equals 225. Yes, McKenna?